Shalom, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Hachodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of all well, and Shalom to Arkim, to be pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth with sincerity. As always, I'd like to begin by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans, predominantly. However, you are going to get Israelites that do look like the other 17 nations, because Israel has been scattered amongst all nations throughout our various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible named Jacob, who was then later named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, no matter what you may look like, because Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18 states that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So I'm going to get into a few lessons here, Lord willing. This is an article I read a little while ago, but I'm just getting around to doing a video on it now. This is from the Metro newspaper, or news website I should say. It says, Dad strangled his baby daughter to death while sexually assaulting her. Now it says Louis Luna Left reportedly strangled his 9-month-old daughter, Surveyor Mason Wright, to death while sexually assaulting her. Now, you got to ask yourself, man, what kind of person would sexually assault, first of all, their own daughter, but secondly, a little baby that's 9 months old? I mean, you got to have some foul spirits on you, some evil demons on you to make you do that kind of thing, you know. So let's get into this article. It says the father strangled his 9-month-old baby daughter to death while sexually assaulting her, police say. Louis Luna, 23, allegedly killed Surveyor Mason at his apartment in Houston, Texas on August 24th. An autopsy report said Surveyor was asphyxiated while being sexually assaulted, with police finding bloodied baby wipes stuffed inside a garbage bag in Luna's room. Luna claimed he had left Surveyor sleeping in her car seat next to his mattress, and then he woke up the next morning of her death to find her unresponsive. The alleged killer dad claimed he may have accidentally killed Surveyor during a subsequent interview with detectives. A report from Harris County Sheriff's Office explained his disputed excuse, saying, when Luna laid her down, he buckled the straps the same way as if he was riding in a vehicle, and believed he may have had the straps too tight, and maybe this is what caused her death. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez shared his horror at Surveyor's death on Twitter, saying, heartbreaking, worst types of cases. May this little angel rest in peace. Good job by our investigators and all involved. Surveyor's mother dropped her off at Luna's apartment on the 21st of August, 3 days before her death. Luna shared the apartment where his baby daughter was fatally wounded with his 3 brothers. Click to Houston said Luna was charged with capital murder on Monday night. He's being held in a mental health unit with lawyers appearing on his behalf for a court hearing on Tuesday. Luna is being held without bond ahead of his next court appearance and could be executed if he is convicted of Surveyor's murder, which would be a righteous judgment if he was put to death for murdering his baby, because the scriptures do say you're not supposed to make your son or your daughter pass through the fire, meaning that you're not supposed to sacrifice the children. Now, it's pretty evident that this man had foul spirits and evil demons on him. You know, you can look at this guy here and you can tell just by looking at him. So let's get some precepts to back that up. You know, first of all, his face is covered in tattoos. This is Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. Salakia. I just had to take care of something. So as I was saying, this is Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28, and it says, Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahawah. So if you look at this man's face here, what's he got on his face? Tattoos and all that kind of shit. You know? So obviously, this guy's going off. I want to get Surah 19 and 29. Surah 19 and 29 states that a man may be known by his look, and one that hath understanding by his countenance when thou meetest him. A man's attire and excessive laughter and gait shew what he is. So a man can be known by his look. If you're spiritual, you know, the spiritual men in this truth, we judge all things, we judge all matters. And you can tell that this guy ain't right, man. This dude ain't right. Now he had a foul spirit, an evil demon upon him. And I'm going to get some examples of how Yahawah, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, the one true God of the Bible, can send evil spirits and set them upon people. So this is the book of Judges, chapter 9, verse 23. Alright, let me see where to start. I'm going to start from Judges 9 and 21. It says, And Joram ran away and fled and went to Beer, and dwelt there for fear of Abimelech his brother. When Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, then the Most High sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, and the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech, that the cruelty done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might come, and their blood may be laid upon Abimelech their brother, which slew them, and upon the men of Shechem, which aided him in the killing of his brethren. See, this situation was stirred up by the Most High by him sending evil spirits upon the men to deal treacherously with him. So that's one example of the Most High sending evil spirits upon people. I'm going to get another example. 1 Samuel 16 and 14. So there's quite a big backstory to that Abimelech one, which I'm not going into, but Lord willing, hopefully it makes sense. But this one's very straightforward. 1 Samuel 16:14. Yeah. So what happened is, in this account, this is after the prophet Samuel anointed King David to be the next king over Israel. But King Saul was currently on the throne at that point. Now, let me read into this to give the backstory. Let me read from 16 and 1 and get into this, man. 1 Samuel 16 and 1, it says, And Yahawah said unto Samuel, How long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing as I have rejected him from being reigning over Israel? Fill thy horn with oil, and go, I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. And Samuel said, How can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And Yahawah said, Take an heifer with thee, and say I am come to sacrifice unto Yahawah. And call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will shew thee what thou shalt do, and thou shalt anoint him unto him whom I name unto thee. And Samuel did that which Yahawah spake, and he came unto Bethlehem, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, Comest thou peaceably? Now that goes to show you the power of the prophets, man. The fact that the people of the town trembled at the fact that the prophet Samuel had come to visit them, because they were terrified to know as to whether Samuel came in peace or to come with the words of prophecy of their destruction. So let's keep going. It says, verse 5, And he said, Peaceably I am come to you to sacrifice unto Yahawah. Sanctify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass when they were come, Then he looked on Eliab and said, Surely Yahawah's anointed is before him. But Yahawah said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, nor on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For Yahawah doth not see as man seeth. For the man looketh on the outward appearance, but Yahawah looketh on the heart. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful precept right there. But anyway, let's keep going. Then Jesse called Abinadab and made him pass before Samuel, and he said, Neither hath Yahawah chosen this. Then Jesse made Shema to pass by, and he said, Neither hath Yahawah chosen this. And again Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel, and Samuel said unto Jesse, Yahawah hath not chosen these. And Samuel said unto Jesse, I hear all thy children. And he said, There remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, and withal of a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look to. And Yahawah said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren, and the Spirit of Yahawah came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. But the Spirit of Yahawah departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from Yahawah troubled him. Now this is the point I wanted to make, because at the point when King David was anointed, the Spirit of the Lord departed from King Saul, and the Most High sent an evil spirit upon King Saul from that day forward. Yeah? And Saul's servant said to him, Behold, now an evil spirit from the Most High trouble thee. Let now our Lord command thy servants which are before thee to seek out a man who is a cunning player on a harp. And it shall come to pass, when an evil spirit from the Most High is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. Now that goes into the spiritual power of healing music right there. But the point of the matter is that let's keep going. It says, And then he answered one of his servants and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and Yahawah is with him. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse, and said, Send me David thy son, which is with the sheep. And Jesse took an ass laden with bread, and a bottle of wine, and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul. And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor bearer. And Saul said unto Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray thee, stand before me, for he hath found favour in my sight. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit was upon Saul, David took a harp and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. Now that goes into my point, because Yahawah sends these evil spirits upon people, because going back to this article right here with this guy who sexually assaulted and murdered his own daughter, he had evil spirits on him, man. The Most High made him do that. You know, the Most High seals the instructions in a person's mind each night when they're asleep, and they carry out those acts the next day. Now you can say to yourself, well, why would the Most High make a person do such a reprehensible act? Well, the answer is judgment. You know, this place right here, this earth, is the place of judgment, and we all pay for the things we've done, for the sins we've done in this life or in our past lives out on this earth here. So this baby girl that got murdered and strangled, although it might be harsh and hard to accept because it looks like just, you know, an innocent little baby, there's no one on earth that is innocent. Not even myself. You know, not even Yahawah was innocent when he was walking the earth, because he had to pay for the things that he'd done in his past lifetimes as Adam, or as Isaac, or as Solomon. You know, we all have to pay for the things we've done in this life or in our past. So maybe this baby girl on the screen here, who knows, maybe in a past life she had an abortion and had one of her babies killed. You know, in a twisted sense. I'm not saying that this is the exact cause, but when you understand the way that the Most High works, in a twisted sense, this dude who murdered this baby might have been an aborted child that she killed in her past life. Now, I'm just saying that, and I'm not saying that's the gospel truth, because we don't know who's who in this. We don't know who's who in a spiritual sense. But I'm just saying that that's a hypothetical possibility in terms of the way that the Most High works, in terms of bringing judgment, because the Most High says that a false balance is an abomination unto the Most High. So, you know what I mean? When you start to understand the way things work in a spiritual sense, you'll understand a bit more, and you won't think with such a emotional. You won't be thinking out of your heart. We're not supposed to be deceived by our own heart. We're supposed to meditate on the judgments of the Most High. And Job, in the book of Job, states that whoever perished being innocent. Is it Job 4:8? Let me see if I can find that and close out on that one. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Let me see if I can find that. Look at that. I was one verse off. If I scroll up a bit, Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? So with that, I want to give all praise and all glory unto Yahawah, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Hachodash, double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone of all well. Shalom to you, Aki, and pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and sincerity. Until the next lesson, I say, Shalom, wa abba wa baba kasha, Yahawah, B'Hashem Yahushai, abba wa kwame shalom.